As we worship tonight, we gather here in this place of refuge on the longest night of the year. As this service holds a somber tone, recognizing that the holidays do not always bring out the joy in our hearts, but the memories of the ones we've lost, the things we've lost hold of this past year, and the changes of life for us all. In the midst of a season that often feels frantic, loud, and anything but peaceful, may this service offer you space to reconnect with your soul, to reflect, or simply just be. In whatever you are carrying tonight, whether it's anger, feelings of emptiness or loneliness, maybe even fear or grief, may you know that God cares and holds all of our hearts so tenderly. Tonight we gather as a family, made one by our brokenness, coming with our hearts full of hope and our pockets filled with doubts. Tonight, we gather just as we are, for God has promised to meet us here and to welcome us for who we are.
Now I'd like to invite you to join me with this call to worship. Based on Psalm chapter 13, verses 3 through 6. Consider and answer me, O Lord my God. Lighten my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death, lest my enemies say, I have prevailed over him, lest my foes rejoice because I am shaken.
We come to you, O Lord, seeking answers to our questions. We come to you, O God, because you are the Creator.
But I have trusted your steadfast love. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord because he has dealt bountifully with me.
Come looking for a song to sing. We wait for your voice to call us from beyond our fear.
Now I'd like to share a song with you. It's called The Gift. It talks about how Jesus Christ came as a gift. The wonder we feel at this gift, coming to heal any weak, filling us with a sense of wonder, the magnitude impossible to ponder.
That's what the prophets foretold. That's what the angels proclaimed. Behold, behold, baby in a manger stall, coming to bring light to all. Emmanuel, God with us, breathing, living God with us. This baby hailing a new way of giving, a new way of living and being.
Emmanuel, God with us.
Emmanuel, God with us.
Breathing, living, God with us.
God with us. This baby hailing a new way of giving, a new way of living and being.
Please join me with this prayer of the people. I'm going to finish each phrase with this expression, Lord, hear our prayer. Then please respond with, and in your mercy, love, answer us. God of wisdom, we come to you this Christmas season, tired, in turmoil, and in pain. As the nights have grown longer, so has darkness grown and wrapped itself around our hearts. In this season of longest night, we ask your healing blessings upon all that we carry in our hearts. Sorrow we fear may never end. Wounds we cannot even put into words. Lord, hear our prayer.
And in your merciful love, answer us.
God of mercy and compassion, there are those among us who are grieving over what might have been. Death or loss or terrible hurt has changed our experience of Christmas. We remember that once it was a special day for us too, but someone or something precious has gone away from us in this life. We have lost a beloved, a job, a goal, a cause, a dream. We find ourselves adrift and alone. We are weary from the journey, and we have found no room at the inn. We come to you seeking rest and peace and shelter from the storm. Lord, hear our prayer.
And in your merciful love, answer us.
God of grace, in the spirit of the season, grant us all that we need to comfort us as we journey through this Advent and Christmas season. We ask that you shelter and sustain all those of us, both there, here and throughout the world, who wonder or want or weep or are heavy laden, that we may be lifted up, encouraged to journey on in your peace. Lord, hear our prayer.
And in your merciful love, answer us.
God of love, in this Christmas season, we embrace and offer up to you all that used to be, which is now lost to us and cannot be again. With celebration all around us, memories of what was and fears of what may be weigh heavy on our hearts. Please hold us close in your embrace, be near to us this night, until the light returns and morning comes. Lord, hear our prayer.
And in your merciful love, answer us.
Keep watch, dear Lord, with those who work or watch or weep this night, and give thine angels charge over those who sleep. Tend the sick, Lord. Give rest to the weary. Bless the dying. Soothe the suffering. Pity the afflicted. Show the joyous. And all for the love's sake. Hold these prayers of our hearts close to your heart tonight and all nights, precious God. Amen. This time I'm going to share a song I wrote about 6 or 7 years ago. This song is based on Romans chapter 12, verse 15, which says, "Weep with those who weep and rejoice with those who rejoice." And also it's based on my imagination. I was thinking, what would God say to us when God sees us failing to love one another, but hating each other? Despite that, we are all lonely, we are all broken. What would God say when God saw us that we are all broken but fail to love one another? I think I would say, weep with those who weep, mourn with those who mourn, and rejoice with those who rejoice. And hold the hands together so that the warmth of your heart can be transferred to the other. So I wrote this song in Korean, but you will be able to see the lyrics in English on the screen.
그 험한 언덕길을 오르네. 십자가 머리에 쓰여진 가시면류관, 사람들 멸시와 조롱의 손가락질, 저를 십자가에 못 박으라. 아무도 그의 손을 잡아주지 않고 누구도 그의 곁을 함께 걷지 않아. 사람들 미움과 질투의 저주 속에 세상의 왕이 홀로 걷네. 우는 자와 함께 울라. 기뻐하는 자와 기뻐하라. 아무도 듣지 않는 저들의 눈물 너희가 들어주라. 저들의 손을 잡아주라. 따뜻한 온기를 전해주라. 하나님 사랑이심을 너희가 전하라. 아버지, 저들의 죄를 용서하소서. 서로를 사랑하지 못하는 죄를, 사람들 슬픔과 고통 속에 살면서 서로의 아픔에 무관심하네. 우는 자와 함께 울라. 기뻐하는 자와 기뻐하라. 아무도 듣지 않는 저들의 눈물 너희가 들어주라. 저들의 손을 잡아주라. 따뜻한 온기를 전해주라. 하나님 사랑이심을 너희가 전하라.
We recognize that this is a time where we can reflect on those we have lost and the things we miss. In a moment, I'll invite the front row and the rows afterwards to come to the table in front of this altar and lift up your loved ones or something we may have lost along the way. As you come up to the table, I invite you to take a small candle, to light and place in the sand, to symbolize the hope and flame that continues to burn and give us all hope. After you place your candle in the sand, you'll see 2 small bowls of salt water on the corners of the table. I invite you to touch the bowl of salt water as they symbolize God's tears, mourning our loss with us. You may also add salt into the bowl as well. symbolizing our own dried tears that we have shed, and adding them together in this bowl of mourning. As you return back to your chair, I invite you to say a silent prayer. A prayer of thanks for those things we have lost and the hope that continues to burn within us all. I invite you all to come up at this time.
Now, Reverend John and I are going to light up the Advent candles. The first lighting of a candle is to remember those persons who have been loved and lost. We light a candle to remember their name, their face, their voice. We give thanks for the memory that binds these dear ones to us in this difficult season. May eternal love surround them. I'd like to invite you to have a silent time for reflection.
We light this second candle to redeem the pain of loss, the loss of relationships, the loss of jobs, and the loss of health. As you gather up the pain of the past, offer it by opening your hands, asking that into your open hands the gift of peace, of shalom, of wholeness may be placed. May each one here be refreshed, restored, and renewed. Let us spend a moment to pause and reflect.
Now we light this third candle to remember ourselves. Pause and remember the past weeks, months, and years in the pandemic, the downtimes, the poignancy of memories, the grief, the sadness, the hurt, the pain of reflecting on our own mortality. Gracious God, may we remember that dawn defeats darkness. Remember the words written on the wall at Ducho prison. I believe in the sun even when it's not shining. I believe in the stars even when I see them not. I believe in God even when I don't see God. Let us have a moment of silence for reflection.
We light the fourth candle to remember the gift of hope. We lean on the Holy One who shares our life, who promises a place and time of no more pain and suffering, and who loves unconditionally. May we not forget the one who shows the way and who goes with you and me into tomorrow. Let us pause in silence and reflection. We light this Christ candle in the name of Emmanuel, God with us. May this light cast out the darkness in us, among us, and around us. May this light shine upon us and change us. Amen. At this time, I'd like to read to you a reading written by Mark Strand called The Lines for Winter. Tell yourself, as it gets cold and gray, falls from the air, that you will go on, walking, hearing. The same tune no matter where you find yourself, inside the dome of dark or under the cracking white of the moon's gaze in a valley of snow. Tonight, as it gets cold, tell yourself what you know, which is nothing but the tune your bones play as you keep going. And you will be able for once to lie down under the small fire of winter stars. And if it happens that you cannot go on or turn back, and you find yourself where you will be at the end, tell yourself, in that final flowing of cold through your limbs, that you love what you are.
Now we're going to sing the Silent Night together. We would invite you to sing with us.
Before we continue, I just want to say words of thanks to Yunjung, Joseph, Monica, and Reverend Ray. I'm going to add you to that list too, for filling our church with music and filling our hearts this evening. We also want to thank you all for coming here tonight to honor each other's loved ones and the things we miss with God's presence. As we conclude this evening's worship service, we will close with a prayer and a blessing and the holding of sacred space. This space that we honor our loved ones and the presence of God this evening. You may continue to stay here in the room and pray in silence here, even asking Reverend Ray or myself to pray with you at this time. But we do ask that this space remains quiet to hold the sanctity of this room in honor of those we've lifted up tonight, and that we may enjoy each other's company outside in fellowship together. O God, of all seasons and senses, grant us the sense of your timing to submit gracefully and rejoice quietly in the turn of the seasons. In this season of short days and long nights, of gray and white and cold. In this season of short days and long nights, of gray and white and cold, teach us the lessons of beginnings. O God, grant us the sense of your timing. Amen.